Thank you very much for joining me. How you been? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Back. Steve Renazizi. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Renazizi. Lit. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Renazizi. What's the odds? What's the odds? What's the odds? What's the odds? What's the odds?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's What's the Odds with Steve Brennan. It's easy. Joined by my boy Bretton Biddlecombe, sore as fuck. He's like Luka Doncic's asshole right now. Very, very sore, very bitter. Doesn't understand what happened. We were talking about it before we started. And hopefully Lucas will join us as well, because I'm sure he has some opinions on the big game last week. I am unfortunately a little under the weather. You might hear it in my voice. I've got the Austin AIDS. I was in Austin last weekend, and every time I come back from that city, I have a great time, but I also get sick. So I apologize for the nasally sound of my voice. But boy, oh boy, did I have fun. Great shows, 5 sold out shows, nothing to do with me. That place just, if you, they got great comedians, so that sells out all the time. So it was awesome. And I got to hang with some cool people and see some old friends. And unfortunately, I got to watch Brenton and Lucas's beloved Bills get hosed again by Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Brenton, like I said, I feel terrible that it always comes down to these close games with them, and for some reason you just never seem to be able to pull it out. It's amazing how Josh Allen, I mean, theoretically could go down as probably one of the top 3 quarterbacks to ever play the game, and possibly with 0 championships to show for it.
Well, don't say
I
that.
mean, you look at it like Philip
He's still
Rivers.
he's still young.
I'm still young, of course, and things can change. But what I'm saying is like the chokehold that this Chiefs team has on the AFC is incredible. It's not like it's Jordan-esque, dude. It's like, you got Karl Malone sitting over there with no championships. And it's tough. It's tough to see. So overall, I mean, we were saying before, we kind of saw it into fruition by being like, you got to be up by 2 scores going into those last couple possessions because it's gonna work out where he's gonna get the ball and be able to do it. And you almost did it. You almost did it. So again, I don't know where you want to start. Do you want to start at the beginning? Do you want to start at the call, the fourth down call? What are you most
Let's
upset about?
let's start with the fact that I have been saying it for several years. I don't think Sean McDermott is the coach that can win a championship with this team. The guy's won a lot of football games. I think they have the most wins without a Super Bowl appearance in the last like 5 years or something. Like all McDermott does is win, and it's great. He pulled Buffalo out of a slump. But when we get to the big game, he folds. And, I obviously we've had a little over a week now to see everyone's reaction to what's going on. And what bothers me is it's very black and white. It's either, the refs screwed the Bills, or, you see the Chiefs fans saying the Bills got calls too. The Bills just didn't execute. And it's like it isn't one or the other. It's both of those things. Both of those things happened. McDermott was not ready. He did not have the team ready. You saw it on the first drive with Josh. They went three and out. He almost had 2 picks. And then on defense, Kansas City walked down the field. They had no answers to stop him on the first drive. So once again, we got out coached. There was 2 instances, one on offense, one on defense. The Mahomes touchdown run where he ran to the right out of the diamond formation. Greg Rousseau afterwards said, I've never seen that before. We've never seen that on tape. Andy Reid is still coming up with plays. They've played each other 9 times now, Mahomes and Allen, and Andy Reid is still coming up with stuff that we have never seen and we can't stop. And then the 4th and 5 Dalton Kincaid drop, they had never seen that formation. They'd never seen where it looked like they were bringing heavy pressure, backed out, and then came with pressure. They'd never seen that before. One of the offensive linemen commented on that. So Kansas City is still just outclassing us as far as Andy Reid coming up with plays and schematically they're better. Um, this was probably the first game between Mahomes and Allen where it was clear that Mahomes was a better player the entire game. Um, but that being said, to say that Mahomes is Allen's daddy is silly when this is a team game, when they've played each other 9 times and Kansas City's only outscored them 245 to 240, which is crazy. That tells you how equal these guys are and how close these games are and how every single little play and call matters. That being said, if you're a Kansas City fan, congratulations. You should feel really great about yourself, but maybe just take a step back because it is simply naive to think that you aren't getting the better end of some of these 50-50 calls. And they'll scream and go, well, look at the stats. Look at regular season. Kansas City didn't have as many penalties, and Josh Allen got more penalties and blah, blah, blah. But it's the context of when these penalties happen that truly matter and can tilt games in Kansas City's favor. Okay. They missed a blatant face mask on us, on Hollywood Brown. They missed the offsides that should have been a false start. That was a bad call. There were, a couple of calls that should have gone Kansas City's way that didn't, but they weren't at moments of the game where it heavily tilted the momentum and heavily tilted the game flow in Kansas City's favor. They were just plays that happened. What we really need is we don't need to call the league rigged. We don't need to blame Mahomes for being a superstar and getting every call, and everything isn't biased, but we need better officiating because it was another horribly called game. Because aside from the few calls that Kansas City got hosed on, we can talk about the 4th and 1 because that's what everyone's talking about. But there were 3 other plays where the ball was just horrendously spotted. Like James Cook in the first quarter, he had a first down and they moved it a yard back. Like it wasn't even close. And then Amari Cooper in the second quarter, he had a first down on a catch that they moved 2 yards back. And then Dalton Kincaid on 3rd and 3 got the first down. The 4th and 1 play should have never even happened. And what bothers me about the 4th and 1, watching it, John Gruden came out and said, if you can't get a yard, you don't deserve to win. And you got to make it so obvious that they can't take it away from you. And it's like, no, dude, that's not how we play football. We don't play football where it's 1st and 11. It's get to the line and it's a first down. It shouldn't matter. We should have a chip in the ball so we know where it is. It was a first down. Everyone fucking knows it was a first down. If you don't think it was, you're lying to yourself. Now, by the way that the rules work and the way that the refs go about things, yeah, you can argue that it was short because the referee marked it short on the field. And when you watch the replay, there are so many bodies moving around, it's impossible to tell. It wasn't clear and evident that he crossed the line because of all the bodies, but you see the overhead view, you see the momentum of Josh and where the ball would have been on his body. And it's like, dude, he got the first down. He doesn't need to get it by 6 yards, but he got the first down. So we need better officiating. We need a chip in the ball. And, what bothers me about that the most is the Bills need better coaching. They need better personnel decisions. Look at how we run the tush push. Like, Lucas, can you pull up the Philadelphia Eagles doing the tush push against Washington? And look at their formation. We have a quarterback that is, Jalen Hurts is a big, strong guy, but we have a quarterback that is bigger and stronger. And just look at the difference between how the Bills run the tush push and how the Eagles run the tush push. The Eagles get 2 big ass dudes, stick them right behind Jalen Hurts in like a wishbone formation, and they just shove him straight forward every time. And it works pretty much 99 out of 100 times. For whatever reason, Buffalo on the 4th and 1, they had Ty Johnson 5 yards deep. They had Josh by himself under center, and they moved Dalton Kincaid, who is the smallest and worst blocking tight end on the team, in motion to then turn and try to push Josh. And if you watch the replay, Kincaid gets immediately shoved back. He loses inside leverage, and he basically is on a knee with his arms on the outside of Josh, trying to pull him with his. It's just it's illogical and it's stupid. That's not how you should be running that play. Get your fullback, get a defensive lineman, and just stick them right behind Josh and get 600 pounds behind him, shoving him forward. And it doesn't matter if he goes to the right, goes to the left. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
That's what they should be
They have
doing.
two dudes. It's almost like kneel position. Like you're
Yes.
gonna kneel the
Yeah. Victory
ball,
formation and shove him
victory
forward.
formation. Yeah.
You put 600, 700 pounds behind him, and it doesn't matter who they have on the line. It doesn't matter that they know what play's coming. You just can't stop that kind of force. It's impossible.
Um, so I mean,
So
first
yeah,
of
the
all,
officiating tilted the game heavily in the
yes,
Chiefs' favor. Is it
but
rigged?
also
No.
like if you look at that, even if let's go to the 4th and 1, you have one referee coming down with an obvious he got the first one, and the other one coming in like this.
Yeah.
So what? How do
And
you when this happens right here? What is the
I
discussion
can
that
tell you
goes
what
on in that
happened.
little
If
circle?
if Lucas, if you can pull up the 4th and 1, and we can really break it down, so you can see how the Bills ran the
You'll
play, and you can
see,
see
yeah.
Dalton Kincaid. But yeah, what bothers me is the guy who was running from the bottom of the screen that called it short. He was running from Kansas City sideline. So what do you think he was hearing behind him the whole time? Oh, he's short, he's short, he's short, he's short. First down, Kansas City. Oh, he didn't get it. He didn't get it. So that's in his head as he's running forward. The guy coming from the top, he is the only guy that would have had a chance to see the ball because Josh's back was to the other guy the whole time. So he's the only one who could have seen where the ball was and maybe where it got forward to. And what happens at the end of the play is Josh tossed the football to the ref who called him short. So that ref got to mark it short because he caught the football and had his foot where it was. So you can see the guy who called him short, Kansas City's all behind him, and the football, he can't see it. All he can see is the back of Josh's jersey. So he has no idea where the ball is, which is why we need a chip. Um, is this replay going to show us the end though, or is it just going to?
Greece. No, that's
But yeah, if we had another angle, you can see how Kincaid just immediately got shoved
Hey,
back and he's on his knees trying to pull him forward. So you got this guy who's got all these Chiefs players screaming, "Oh, he didn't get it." And then Josh tosses the football to the guy who marked him short. And so he placed the ball short. So there wasn't really ever a discussion of, oh, I saw the football. It's a first down. And then the other thing that really bothered me, and they didn't do it on 3rd down either. Maybe it was because Buffalo didn't ask for it and they were rushing to the line, but they didn't bring out the chains. They've been using chains for
yeah, I
100
mean, what?
years.
Yeah, yeah.
Why didn't they
What?
bring out
Yes.
this was the
Well,
playoffs.
they
This was
went to
high
the. They went.
drama.
I know, but they went to a commercial
So why weren't
for
chains
us. They
brought
went.
out? So we could see it.
Yeah, we when they came back, they just announced what the decision was.
right.
So
Um,
And here's why. Okay, so if you go by the rules, you can say okay, he called it short on the field. The replay is inconclusive, so you can't overturn it. First down, Kansas City. But here's why that tilted the game so much is if you go back to the third quarter, um, the Bills had a moment where they had kind of taken the game from Kansas City. Kansas City had been outplaying them, and there was this moment where James Cook had a run. It wasn't a huge run, but it was like an 8 or 9 yard run, and he had stiff armed the Chiefs defender into the ground. And you saw the entire sideline of Buffalo just go crazy. And all of a sudden, they had juice. And they had like 43 or 48 rush yards in the first half. In the third quarter, they ended up with 78. They had taken control of that game. They had scored on that drive. They went up by 1 point. Then they got a stop against Kansas City because they had all the momentum. And the second drive was the drive that led to the 4th and 1. And once again, Kansas City was not stopping them on the ground. And if that had been called correctly and it had been a first down, there's no guarantee that they would have gotten points. It would have been 1st and 10 at the 40. So I think, Bills fans need to pump the brakes with, oh, they would have been up by 8 or 9 or whatever. We
yeah,
don't,
two
we don't,
scores.
we don't know. But the point is, we had all the momentum. We had complete control of that game. They could not stop us. We were stopping them. And then that call just completely reversed everything. And that's the kind of call that Kansas City has been getting consistently, more so than anybody, which is why people are upset. It's not rigged, it's poor officiating, but it just seems to be working out their way every time. And they are so well coached that the other team has no margin for error, and the officiating is allowing Kansas City to just kind of make up for their mistakes, or if they're not stopping the run, all of a sudden, oh, we'll throw a flag here, we'll call this short, and it just gives them what they need to put their foot down
Get off the field. Yeah.
exactly. Um,
Um,
it's
well, to the
frustrating,
problem that
but
can be solved, what about the coaching? What has to happen now? Because, like you said, you got Andy Reid coming up with plays on third and big time to get first downs that you guys have never seen before.
mhm.
Spagnola coming up with a defensive, on the fourth and five to Kincaid. I mean, everyone
McDermott's
sort
got to
of
be
thought,
McDermott's got to be better. We came out flat against Denver, we came out flat against Baltimore, and we came out flat against Kansas City. If we don't come out flat against Kansas City, maybe we get a field goal on that first drive. Maybe we get a touchdown. Maybe we stop them. That's the difference in the game right there, is that first drive
yeah,
on both sides.
yeah,
We came
true.
out looking like we didn't belong there. And it was the same against Denver, who was a far inferior team to Buffalo. Clearly, as the game went on, you saw that. But we gave up a huge touchdown play and we went 3-and-out. You can't do that. McDermott has to be better. I have a lot of faith that Joe Brady will have another year in this offense, and him and Josh working together. It looked great with arguably the least amount of talent of any of the playoff teams as far as offensive weapons. They looked amazing. They were the second highest scoring team. I think that can only get better. And I don't know. We got to figure out what we're doing on defense. We have a defensive minded coach that gives up, I believe it's 34 points a game against Kansas City in the playoffs. And again, for those that
Yeah.
think that Mahomes is so much better than Josh, in the regular season against Kansas City, Josh averages 28 points a game. In the playoffs, it's 32. So he elevates. He's always elevated. He's always played as good as he can,
I
but the
mean,
defense is what's killed
you,
him.
if we said we're going to give you 29 points, you're not going to turn the ball over. You don't think you're going to win that game?
It's
I mean,
happened.
that's it.
That was another stat that was really hard to see. I think it was, there've been it's less than 10. It was something like
Yeah.
121-9 or something of all the teams that are in positions where they didn't turn the ball over in the playoffs. And three of the losses are the Bills in the playoffs, where Josh hasn't turned the ball over. And I think
Yeah.
all three were to Kansas City.
And trust me, it wasn't for lack of trying because he tried to in the first quarter. He
Yeah.
was throwing 50-50 balls left and right where I was like, what's going on? He's trying to win this game right now. He
He
can't do
was
it.
he was
But
pressing and he was nervous, and that's
then he settled
preparation.
down. They
He
ran the
did.
ball real well.
Not in
They
the first
stopped running the
half. I'm
ball.
telling you, they were okay in the first half. They weren't amazing, but after that James Cook stiff arm, that was when the
Yeah.
script flipped, and they just couldn't stop us.
Um, Going to the other game now, the Eagles and the Commanders. First of all, betting wise, we've fucked up big time, but that's mostly my fault. I believed a little too much in the Commanders, but Jane Daniels not necessarily his fault at all. They couldn't stop anything. I mean, this offense looked unstoppable,
Mhm.
and not necessarily the way it was like best show on turf. It's like when you have a guy's going to run for three touchdowns. I mean, they had how many? They ran for seven rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Seven, I think it was. That's insanity. That's a team telling you we're going to run the ball down your throat, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. So I don't know. Spagnola's got a lot on his plate this week. I would not want to be Steve Spagnuolo. Uh, it's bad enough when you got to worry about one guy like Josh Allen, superhero, but now you got to worry about Saquon Barkley. You got to worry about Jalen Hurts. You got to worry about Antonio Brown,
AJ Brown,
um, AJ Brown. You got to worry about
Devonta
Devonta Smith,
Smith.
who could be a sneaky
Oh, and guess what? You take away
MVP
all
guy.
of those things somehow, and you stop Jalen Hurts on the run. Dallas Goedert is Mr. Consistency, and your team is
Sure.
giving up, I think they're bottom 5 in yards for tight ends against them. So, like, and the offensive line is probably the best offensive line you're going to play all year.
Yep. It's going to be a real, real, real tough task. Because again, I don't know if what's his name is going to try to outsmart himself. Who's the coach at fucking in Philly? I hate that guy.
Sirianni.
Sirianni.
Sirianni's
Yeah.
going to try to
He will.
go away from the run and try to play action right away and try to
Well,
get a big
it's
play
easier
down
to
the
throw on
field.
Kansas City than run on them. So if
But
they do load the box and you take away Barkley, I think you could see AJ Brown or Devonta or Dallas have a massive game, and then
yeah,
I wouldn't be
but
shocked
I think he
if
might try to
Johan
do that
Dotson
before
got
he.
a sneaky touchdown.
I think he might try something stupid before he even knows what's working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So who knows? But yeah, it's going to be a real, real tough task.
but
And
Jalen
again, I
Hurts
don't
has
think
been
it's
here
going to be.
before. That's why I would lean Philly in this game because again, I don't believe it's rigged. But KC fans that say we never get calls, remember how the Super Bowl ended 2 years ago against Philly, and it was on a very iffy holding call. And then did you see, by the way, uh, they released audio from the Super Bowl last year, San Francisco and KC, and Kyle
No,
Shanahan, they had just called holding on San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan goes to the ref and he says, "Look, man, that was holding. I understand that. But I need you to watch what they're doing. They are holding us every single time. And then as soon as Pat gets away, they're letting him go. So please, if you could call it both ways." And KC in the 3 Super Bowl wins that they've had, they've never been called for holding. And if you go and you watch the
really.
montage of what could have been holding calls, some of them are 50-50, but some of them are so egregious, you're like, I don't understand how we didn't see this before. And we only really started yelling about it against Houston, where it's like, oh, the NFL is rigged. Because it's like, oh, shit. Like they are getting away from, or they're getting away from some bad calls that would have maybe shifted that game and San Francisco could have won. I don't know. That's
They've
neither
never
here
been
nor there.
called for a holding call in three Super
Not
Bowls.
in their 3 Super Bowl wins, no. Offensive
That's
holding.
fucking. Um.
And the
Well, do
last
you want to get
time, the
this?
last time they had more penalties called against them in the playoffs was against Tom Brady. And if you go back to 2019, the last time they lost a playoff game was on a penalty, and that was against Tom Brady and the Patriots. So the torch has been passed officially. It's not rigged, but calls are definitely biased, and it's tilting. It's not determining the game, but it's tilting the game, and it makes it for the opponent to have to play perfect or. All right, and I'll move on. I'm sorry. I took us back. I'm just
It's
saying. I'm
okay,
seeing all these
dude. Let the
fucking
venom out.
Kansas City fans. Just enjoy it, okay? You're getting all the wins. Just enjoy it. You don't need to try to defend it because we all fucking see it. Just enjoy it and be humble.
We'll see. I don't want anyone to win this Super Bowl. I
Not even
want anyone
Saquon.
to win. I do. I want him. I want Saquon to get 5 touchdowns,
And
nobody else.
I would love to
And I want him to
see.
get the ring and nobody else gets to
Honestly,
win it.
I would love to see Jalen Hurts win a Super Bowl because Nick Saban
I'm
benching
good
him in
for that.
the football in the championship game like that for Tua was a joke, and I would love to see Hurts get one. And I think he's going to play out of his mind, and he'll probably be MVP.
You think so? Well, let's get
I
into
think
it.
so.
You want to do some
Super Bowl prop
prop
bets.
stuff first, or do you want to do some the actual game?
Let's do prop bets.
We'll do
Yeah.
proppers. Prop it up. Uh, rushing props, receiving props, defensive props, special team props. So many props. Novelty props. Coin toss outcome. Heads is plus 100. Tails is plus 100. Who the fuck knows?
It's kind of
I
sweet
always
you're
go
getting plus
heads.
odds.
Well, it's got to be one of them.
I know, but plus odds on that, you'd think they wouldn't give you plus odds.
Otherwise, nobody would do it.
And now people would do it.
Uh, I mean, I don't really give a shit about any of those. What is? Oh, I want to see the fucking. Yeah, give me, give me like the fucking.
The Gatorade
I don't
color.
know.
It was
Yeah,
yellow for the Eagles, by the way, against the Commanders. I don't know if that carries over, if there's like a player preference, or if they just go with whatever the stadium brought them that day, but it was yellow.
I mean, team props, game props. I mean, these are all like. What's an octopus, by the way? Can someone explain that to me?
Oh, yeah, it's like a safe, what is it? A safety and a octopus football.
Will there be an octopus?
Okay.
Yes is
So when a
plus
player scores a
1400.
touchdown, when a player scores a touchdown, then scores a subsequent 2-point conversion. So it's like Saquon getting a
Oh,
Okay. Well,
oh,
that could
okay.
be
So
a
it's
that could
like
be a tush
rushing.
push. Look, of all the Super Bowls, that could be a tush push and then a Jalen Hurts 2-point conversion tush push. That of all the Super Bowls, this is probably the highest chances that that could happen. And it has to be the same player, right?
That's plus
yes.
1400. Yeah.
Yeah. So
No,
of all the
this would
Super
no.
Bowls,
Will yeah? Will there be an octopus? That doesn't even have to be like Jalen Hurts. You don't have to pick the person. Just will there be?
well, I know, but I'm saying
Oh,
with Jalen Hurts, you have the best
Oh,
chances
yeah.
because most teams, if Mahomes throws a touchdown to Travis Kelce and then they go for two, it's probably not going to be another pass to Travis Kelce, or at least the odds are a lot smaller. But if you have Jalen Hurts and he scores a touchdown on a tush push and then they put the ball on the 2 yard line, or if there's a penalty, they put it on the 1 yard line, it's going to be a tush push again. So I'm just saying,
True.
if you're going to
You
make
get
that
that
bet, which is
penalty.
which is a crazy fucking bet to make, and it's probably you're burning money, but if you're going to make it, this is the Super Bowl to make it in
This is the one.
until they
I don't have
stop
any of
running
the
the
fun
tush push.
ones. Where are the fun ones? I'm on like football related ones. Are you on any of the sites? I'm on DraftKings.
All I get is bet
oh,
DSI, but I wonder, does
yes.
Quarters,
CBS
halves.
see if they have like a Super Bowl prop bet
I
sheet?
got you.
Who's doing the
Uh,
anthem? Do you know?
It's, is um uh, John Batista is doing the anthem.
John Baptista?
Yeah, he's
Isn't he a
the
wrestler?
no. Um, I might be saying it wrong. John Batiste, he's the musical director for Stephen Colbert.
Oh my God. What he doesn't oh, it's gonna be like an acapella, it's gonna be like a musical.
I mean, he's from New Orleans, so that's probably why.
yeah.
What's the what's the over under on that? What it's gotta be shorter than someone singing it because who the fuck wants to listen to a
Yeah.
trumpet? I don't like that at all. He must be from New Orleans or something, right? That's
The
gotta be
over
a
under
thing.
is 120.5 seconds, so 2 minutes,
Two
pretty
minutes and
much.
5 seconds. It
But
better be under.
he plays the piano, so that could be a longer instrument.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to take the over.
over.
He's going to milk it. He's going to play extra notes and make it all jazzy.
Hey, at the end, let me think how it would go. Boop, boop, beep, bop, 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 boop.
And he throws. There you are.
Yeah, it's gonna be over, dude. It's gonna be the over.
You froze for almost all of that, but it was great.
No way. That was all. I just did the boop,
But
and did the whole how it's gonna
Yeah.
go out. That sucks.
Yeah.
there is a bet you can make here. Will there be a power outage on Super Bowl Sunday?
I was at the last one where there was a
Um,
power outage in New Orleans, and it sucked because the heat it got hot. Started sweating,
no, there's not going to be a power outage.
and also it was my first time ever getting I got a hemorrhoid. Holy shit! I was eating from New Orleans food all weekend,
Hmm.
and the up and down at the Super Bowl was just destroying my ass. And then the extra time of the the outage really put a fucking. So it was a real rough Super Bowl for me. That was the Harbaugh Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think they'll
Yeah.
have a power outage. I think the NFL, if they if they actually were, and
People will
again, I
freak
don't
out.
believe they are, but if they actually were influencing the games for Kansas City to keep moving on, they just needed them to get to this point. I don't think they can have something shady like the power goes out and kills the Eagles' momentum, or I don't think we'll see an egregious penalty or a blown call that tilts it Kansas City's way because they just needed the Swifties at the bowl. Now they don't really care who wins. Mahomes'
You
legacy
really
is
don't.
is already what it is.
You think the NFL doesn't want to see history made, or you don't think they would love it? They would come in their pants if
I
history was
think
made.
I think they would like to see it, but they're not going to if they were going,
Rig it.
hey, buddy, like if
They don't
he's
want to
holding them,
guarantee it.
don't yeah, they're not going to guarantee it. They're going to let this game play
Got it.
fair. That's why I like the outcome of when we make our picks, what I'm going to go with. Um, but
Well, go. Who do you like?
I like the Eagles. I just think there's more talent on both sides of the ball, and I think they're going to be too much. We've seen Kansas City all year win, but they've only played in close games. And again, when you keep playing like that, where luck needs to be on your side, it's just one bounce of the football and it goes the other way. They're playing a team that they beat 2 years ago that feels strongly that wasn't a defensive hold at the end of the game, and they had that game stolen from them. Most of those players have Super Bowl experience. They're not going to come in intimidated, and Jalen Hurts just seems laser focused. He had the injury. He came back a little rusty, but seemed like he was back and playing elite football against Washington. It's a little bit better of a defense in Kansas City, but I don't see a path where they blow out Kansas City, but I don't see a path where Kansas City is going to overtake them unless some shady thing happens, which I don't think the NFL is going to allow because you're going to have millions of fans basically rioting. We are all
Rioting.
we are all watching with laser
Yeah,
focus on every flag that is thrown in every spot of the ball. They are not going to allow that to happen because they only care about making their money, and they make more money with Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. But at this point, now they're there. The money's coming in either way. Let's not piss off our fans and have a bunch of people boycott the league. And there's a lot of gambling money on this, and if we lose our integrity of this is a bias, this is a rigged, then they're going to lose billions of dollars. They need this to be a clean called game, and that favors the Eagles heavily. The only thing that could trip them up is Nick Sirianni doing some stupid shit. But as far as talent
that's
on
what
the field,
I'm not taking
man
that
against
away from him,
man,
dude.
I'm not
I
either, but
think
I'm
he's
just
capable
saying,
of doing it.
man against man on the field, you look at every position lined up, and the Eagles have an advantage.
Like he has to know, in no way, shape, or form can he go, I'm the better coach in this situation. I'm going to outcoach Andy Reid.
Andy
He
Reid
has to have
is
some
the
sort of hubris and
winningest
go,
coach in
he's going
Eagles
to
history.
outcoach me. I just have a better team and I have to just let them do what they do.
But Andy Reid's the winningest coach in Eagles history and the winningest coach in Kansas City's history. The guy is legitimately, if he wasn't so fat and he could coach another 15 years, which I don't think his body's going to let him, he would go down as maybe the greatest coach of all time.
Is there, I
He probably
mean,
will.
yeah, we can get to it next week, maybe if they win on Sunday. I mean, 4 and 6 years is it 4 and 6 years or four
It'd
and
be
5 years?
4 and 6,
All
I
right.
think four and
First
six
of all,
years.
3 in a row, which no
Yeah,
one's ever
Three in a
it's
done.
four
row
and
is,
six, 4 wins.
but seven AFC championships in a row. And what have they, five out of six Super Bowls?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane.
that's really
Yeah.
insane.
The guy's a winner.
So, absolutely. Um, I agree with you. I can't even say it. I'm with the Eagles. I think there's no way that they're going to be able to be stopped. I think Saquon Barkley is like a machine, and
You
you're
can't
gonna
take
if you
away
want,
both of those things. It's impossible to take away. Jalen Hurts is an elite thrower. AJ Brown's an elite receiver. And if you take away that, you're not going to stop Saquon with that offensive
yeah.
line. There's no way to, so you're going to have to outscore them. And Kansas City this year, I believe they were middle of the pack. They were like 15th or 16th in points per game. And they were middle of the
And the
pack
thing is,
in
it's
all
like
the
you may
yardage
stop him for a
categories. And
quarter, you may stop him for 2 quarters, but
Mhm.
it only takes one for one guy to miss a blocking assignment, bing bang boom, and he's in the secondary, and he's past your safety, and he's gone, dude. And
Saquon
that
just
might
needs
be the
one
possession
carry.
that you're like, oh, we just scored a touchdown, and then they go back and stab you in the throat. It's like
Yeah.
it's over, dude. It's back-breaking yards he's capable of at any moment,
I
and
mean,
it's
that
almost like
Washington
playing
game
with a
was over
loaded
on
gun.
play one. It was the first
Yeah,
play of the Eagles offense. The first offensive play was what was it, a 60 some yard touchdown for Barkley. Like it was
yep,
over on the first play.
yeah. So I don't. I don't think. Let me look at the over/under. 48 and a half. I always like the under on these things because it feels like the Super Bowl is always that.
The last game was it 31
38, 32.
28?
Yeah.
It was 31-28 because they were 28-28 and then the penalty got them in field goal range and then they just ran the clock down if I remember correctly and kicked a field goal
Yep.
at the last minute. So I think they could go over. I think Kansas City can score enough to keep the game close-ish. They're not going to get blown out because they just don't ever get blown out. But Philadelphia is going to do what Buffalo needed to do, and they're going to win by somewhere between 9 and 11 points, probably.
By the way, you like Philadelphia plus 1.5 because that's what it is, or do you want them on the money
Absolutely.
line?
No, I'll take them plus 1.5. Crazy shit could happen,
So Philly plus 1.5
but I think there
and
will
the
be
over
points.
48 and a half.
Yeah, I think there will be some points.
What are your thoughts, Lucas? Are you on the same page, or are you more of like what are you? What are you?
I mean, one bet that I made last year, and I made like 500 off of it, was for the game to go to overtime. I think it was like plus 1,000. I put 50 down because like before, I would say the first Bills Giants Super Bowl in '91, there really hadn't been like a close Super Bowl. I feel now every single one of them is. I know I'm going back 30 years ago, but I'm saying like the league is so
Yeah, it's bound to happen.
yeah, and it happened last year and it hit. And I think it's only happened twice in the history of Super Bowls is over OT. So that's a bet I might make again.
So you're saying there's a 2 out of 59 chance that it goes to overtime.
Right.
Right. 2 out of 59. Just what we're looking
And,
for.
and another bet, honestly, another bet I want to make is Chris Jones MVP.
Well, that's come on.
What?
That's too much.
Is that crazy?
He could have the best game of his life. It's still going to go to Mahomes or Kelsey if they win. And it could even go, I would take it goes to a losing player on the Eagles before they give it to a defensive player.
You know,
Or you
it's kind
say
of a
like
defensive player
if
before.
Saquon scores 3 touchdowns, but they
Yes.
lose 35,
Yes,
28.
exactly. Exactly. It's not gonna go to Chris Jones. That's why the odds are as good as they are. That's dead money. There is
It's
like
kind of
a
defensive
point
players before.
zero 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 0.00001%
Didn't
chance.
Malcolm Butler
Yeah.
get it? Did
Did
Malcolm
he?
Butler get it?
I know
But Chris Jones
Von Miller
isn't
did.
going to intercept a pass and run it back for a touchdown. He's not going to pick up a fumble and run for it. Like he basically has to score a touchdown in order to get MVP. He could put pressure
Or
on Hurts. He
or
could get
five
some
sacks?
sacks. Even if he got 5 sacks, though, what if Barkley goes for 3 touchdowns and 200 yards? What if Hurts throws for 5 touchdowns? Like, there's just stats that outweigh other stats. So he would have to score a touchdown to even have a chance at this, and then also get 5 sacks. And it's just
I'm with you,
probably
Lucas.
not going to happen. But yeah,
It's a
that's
Super Bowl. If
where
you're gonna make dumb bets,
throw
it's
10, yeah, throw $10 on it and have yourself a nice lobster dinner.
fuck. Though you know what? I'll take the Chiefs. I'll be the only guy to take them just because of the refs.
Fair.
And I think no matter what happens, we're probably gonna lose Philly to City.
No matter what,
No matter what, win or lose, they're
If
gonna
they
burn the city
win, they
down.
burn it. If they lose, they burn it.
they're gonna burn it to the ground. Oh God, that's awesome. I mean, I really, this is one Super Bowl that I'm like, God Almighty. I don't want to. I don't. What? Like, if I, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
what? Yeah,
look, the positive that we can take out of Philadelphia this year is the guy that called the Packers fan a cunt to her face. He lost his job. So
yeah.
there are good things that have happened in the city of
And
Philadelphia.
that kid fell off the pole and he's in ICU still, I think, right? Or is he dead? You know that kid that,
I didn't
uh,
see that.
Yeah.
yeah, he fell off a pole and he was trying to, slide down a pole in Philadelphia and he
Oh,
fell off of it. So, but other than that, I hope it's like any given Sunday where one of the players pulls out a gun, starts shooting everyone. That would be great, right? That would be interesting.
what are the
CBS
odds on
would love
that?
that, or Fox. Tom Brady's doing the Super Bowl. He's gonna fuck this up. He's not ready, dude.
No.
He is not ready. He's not ready at all. Do they have a playlist? Anyone see the playlist for
For Kendrick,
yeah.
I have it right here. One of the bets I love is for celebrity guest appearances for plus 3,500 odds. You can bet that Drake's going to show up.
What?
Right. That's
That's
a
someone
dumb
that
bet.
doesn't. Yeah, that's you have to like that's for someone who doesn't know anything about rap. I mean,
I'll take those
like, oh,
odds.
Drake's a popular rapper. Maybe he'll do a collaborate if he
They're
wants to
probably
die.
friends. Everyone's friends up top.
What's the playlist? Do they have? Did he say his
Here,
playlist?
I'll share the screen here. Well, they don't have the playlist. You get to, of course, guess it. Um, Here we go.
For sure, not like us. For sure, humble.
I'd go with first song,
Not.
King Kunna.
Yeah.
It's upbeat. It seems like it'd be a good starter.
Do you think Kendrick looks at the betting odds on the songs and says, "Oh, I'll hook up the people that are putting some money on the big plus money odds. I'll just play that song because it's the longest shot."
Well, I don't know if you noticed, dude. You can't because these guys want to make money. So if all of a sudden someone put a buttload of money on one of these stupid bets, they're gonna know that someone knows something on the inside. Like I don't know if you saw the article this week that Major League no, the NBA guy that got fined and banned
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he had someone place a big prop on his over under numbers for one game and he pulled himself out of the game, and so the spidey senses go up on these big bets on these stupid fucking things like this.
Yeah.
Um, and nobody would want. I bet you that's part of the contract to Kendrick. Like, hey, don't do anything stupid like releasing or having people in your camp try to make money on this fucking thing and bet on, because they're gonna find out. This list of celebrity guest appearances: Future, Metro Boomin, Lil Wayne. I wouldn't be surprised if Lil Wayne came out. I know he's butt sore about not being the guy, but it is New
Yeah.
Orleans.
Yeah.
Plus 185 seems pretty good. That would be the one guy I would bet on.
This is me being
You're an
naive,
idiot if you
but
have
doesn't
Drake.
11 songs seem like a lot of songs?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm like, I can't even name 11. But the problem is,
But
is
if he
that,
has guests come out and they do their song or they sing it instead of him,
yeah,
like they cut
that's
to them,
it.
I get that. But even then, I mean, I don't recall there being that many songs for a regular Super Bowl with multiple. Even was it last year or the year before where it was like three different people, like 50 Cent and a bunch of different people doing songs. Like,
Yeah.
did that even? add up to 11.
Well, it says down
Seems
I
high.
here,
It seems high.
no performer has done fewer than 11 songs since the weekend.
whoa, no one's done fewer.
Hmm.
But the weekend was last year, right?
He was
The COVID 4 years ago.
That COVID Super Bowl in Tampa, right? Where he was like
Oh,
walking through the funhouse maze.
oh yeah, that was so stupid. Um, I would say this would be one that I would throw the under on. He doesn't have that many, like, bangers, right? Am
Yeah.
I am I wrong in that? I can name like 4 or 5 bangers, but
I'm not even talking, even if you had 11 bangers,
I got,
I just don't,
DNA. I
it
like
just
that
seems
song.
like a lot of songs. You would have to basically just do 30 seconds of each of them.
But they could do that though, dude.
Hmm.
Those are huge
Yeah,
mashups.
but then they bring out like a celebrity and then they have guitar solos and dancers and things get dragged out and there's fireworks. It just seems like that's a lot of transitions.
If Drake does come out though, I'm gonna be pretty pissed I didn't put money down plus 3,500. That would be shocking. Um, yeah, again, I like I don't like anyone in this fucking Super Bowl. I like Saquon Barkley to what are the MVP odds? Does anyone have those in front of them? I don't have those. I assume Saquon's one.
He's got to be juiced.
I mean, Mahomes is one.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you got Cunty Mahomes.
Yeah, don't forget Country Mahomes.
Saquon's two plus
Yeah,
250.
I love Jalen Hurts.
That is a good bet.
Travis Kelce 1,500 is a good one to do too, because let me tell you, they love to give it to him. They're going to look for a reason to.
Well, here's why they
And for some
won't.
reason, if he scores 2 touchdowns, if he gets 2 touchdowns at 100 yards and they win the game, and the rest of the line is pretty mediocre for Mahomes, it's Travis Kelce's trophy.
Maybe, but that also means that Saquon did nothing and Jalen did nothing, and they can't give it to the opposing team. But
That's true.
I don't think Travis will get it just because he just came out and said I have a lot more football in me. So he's definitely not retiring. So they don't need to give it to him as like a goodbye. I think that hurts his chances.
Um,
I like
we'll
Jalen
see. I mean,
Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is going to shine, and then he'll be in the conversation. Josh is going to get pushed out of the top two conversation. It'll be Mahomes and Hurts going into next season, with Lamar probably ahead of Josh because he'll get the MVP. Um, so yeah, and then it'll be probably Josh fourth best quarterback in the league going into next year.
did you watch the Pro Bowl?
Fuck no.
No, I watched my mom came over for dinner and so it was on in the background. She's like, "Oh, that's nice that they don't make them wear the pads." And I was like, "Oh no, mom, they're playing flag football." She's like, "Oh, after all that whole year, they shouldn't have to wear the big pads and helmets." I'm like, "You're right.
Mhm.
You're the first person to figure that out."
But they should also be in Hawaii, not Orlando.
Yeah, but it's so far, dude. It's so far.
But it's supposed to be like, congratulations, it's an incentive. We're rewarding you. Here's a tropical paradise and just play a
Yeah.
couple of games for us.
No, I mean, I get it, but most of those people want to go to the Super Bowl then. Go from fucking
Yeah.
Hawaii all the way to like New Orleans and shit. Nobody wants to travel that far.
I would
Send me to
travel that
Hawaii.
far.
They should make the Pro Bowl in like end of March in Hawaii for a week. Then
I mean,
everyone would go.
honestly, they should because then you don't lose the
Yeah.
players that are still in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. Like, why is Tyler Huntley
Exactly.
a Pro Bowler?
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. I mean, the fact that Drake May is a Pro Bowler his first year, I think he played like fucking 7 games. How the hell is
He
that possible?
he had a couple of great moments and he has
But still,
promise, but
dude,
he's not a Pro Bowler. It's because all these other guys said no.
it's a joke. It's a joke. Um, by the way, I just want to let you know that $50 would win us 178 for the over and the Philadelphia to cover plus 1.5.
That's not bad.
And that's what I put my money on. I hope nobody wins. I hope Everyone loses. Speaking of winning, by the way, week one of my fantasy golf league is off and running, and guess who won week one? This guy right over here. Thank you, Taylor Pendrith, for coming in. Canadian. Oh,
Never heard of that
Canada.
name.
We put tariffs on them. Taylor Pendrith gave a championship to me. That's what happened this week. Luka Doncic is a Laker now. No more pussy for you in the city of LA, Lucas. It's all gonna go to Luka Doncic now, dude.
Mhm.
He's gonna,
Understandable.
yeah, it
He had
happens.
he had just closed on a $15 million home as well.
You know what,
Tell it to
dude?
AD.
This is the NBA. This is the NBA's way of being like, we've lost control of our players, and we're gonna take control back. That's what happened. That's what this move is for Dallas. This is a move that's like, we're not gonna let you dictate, where like what you're gonna do, who's gonna be around us. We're gonna get rid of you before you can have a chance to control us. Because that's the only reason you trade a 25-year-old player in his fucking prime is that you don't want to be told who to hire, who to surround yourself with. They just bought the team from Mark Cuban, the majority of it, and they're going, we're taking control back.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to be
and he
under.
was going to get his max contract next year.
Yeah, well, that's fine, but it's like then, or it's like I might not sign a max contract, or I might. I want to be traded. You have all that shit to deal with.
Yeah.
Instead, we're going to trade you before. Now, you got to come on terms with the fact that you don't want this guy as your face of your franchise for the next 10 years. And for whatever reason, that's what they thought, but they're not going to.
Horrible
We're
trade.
not going to let him fucking dictate the terms.
Yeah, but they just gift wrapped LA 10 years of another superstar that they can build around, and they made LA's rebuild post LeBron a lot easier.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Unless him and LeBron don't get along the first year or so, which could happen.
I think he's going to.
He's like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
I think he's going to respect LeBron, and I think this is the best thing that could happen to him. He's not going to be fat anymore. LeBron's going to get him working out, and he's going to show him, if you want to play another 15 years in this league, this is how you have to do it. I think this is going to work out for Luka perfectly. And Dallas is going to regret this for a long time, especially since why would you trade him in your conference? Trade him to someone in the East and only have to play him once or twice a year, and if you make it to the championship. Why would you want to face him? How many times? Like, did they play 5 or 6 times non-divisional opponents?
Conference, yeah.
Yeah, why would you want to do that? And then you'd have to play them probably to get to the championship.
This wasn't a move for this year. This is a move for Dallas to try to win a championship this year if they can.
They were in the championship last year with Luka.
I know. But they did get better. I don't know if they got better, but they got defensively better.
They didn't get better.
They got defensively better.
This horrible decision. They took
Doncic
a window.
needs to learn how to play a little defense.
I fine, that's fair, but they took a championship window that was probably 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 years, and they shrunk it down to maybe 2.
It seemed to be very short-sighted, but we'll see.
And to only get one first round pick and it's not for 4 years is fucking crazy. Max Christie's a good player. He'll develop into potentially a great player, but my God, did they not get what they should have gotten for him? And Anthony Davis is injury prone. He could get hurt second game, and now you're fucked.
That's what I'm saying. By the way, neither one of these guys is playing right now, so it's like the impact is not.
I'd rather have the 25-year-old that's injured versus the 31-year-old that's injured and injured often.
Well, I'm gonna go take some more cold medicine because it's kicking. My head's starting to get underwater. That's it for us this week, guys. I hope your Super Bowl is great. I hope your parties are fun. I hope you don't get fucking, sat next to someone who wants to talk the whole time. I hope the commercials are good. Have you seen any good commercials yet? I saw the Gillis one.
The Gillis where you don't drink beer on in an ad. That was pretty funny. So hopefully there's some more gems from them.
And then I did see one for, who is the celebrity one that was released? It was a celebrity one that was released. I can't remember what it was. Fuck. I don't know. I'll remember it after I see it. That's it. Enjoy your Super Bowl, guys, and we'll talk to you next week.
Go Bills.
Bills.
Thank you very much for joining me. How you been? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Steve Renazizi. I'm the guy.